So, in the first episode of 2022, we will discuss some news pieces and information items of the last week of 2021 concerning Somalia, Russia, Hong Kong, Biden and Putin, and to end the week on journalist killings. Somalia's president said on Monday that he had suspended the prime minister for suspected corruption in the latest power struggle, distracting the government from an Islamist insurgency, prompting the US to call for calm. The US Embassy urged de-escalation from both sides in the Horn of Africa country. Quote, "We strongly urge Somalia's leaders to take immediate steps to de-escalate tensions in Mogadishu, refrain from provocative actions, and avoid violence," quote, it said on Twitter. The move amounted to, quote, "an indirect coup," end quote, by President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed. Assistant Information Minister Abdirahman Yusuf Omar Adala said. Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble was not immediately available for comments. Government spokesman Mohamed Ibrahim Moalimu said the president's reaction was unconstitutional and that Roble would continue with his duties. Mohamed also said he had also removed the commander of Marine Forces, General Abdihamid Mohamed Dirir, from office while a similar investigation was being carried out. Mohamed accused Roble of stealing land owned by the Somali National Army and of interfering with a defense ministry investigation. Mohamed and Roble on Sunday each accused the other of holding up ongoing parliamentary elections in a country riven by militant attacks and clan rivalries. The United States late on Sunday called for a credible and rapid conclusion to the elections. Russia's Supreme Court on Tuesday ordered the closure of Memorial International, one of the country's most respected human rights organizations, wiping out 3 decades of work to expose the abuses and atrocities of the Stalinist era. The court ruled that Memorial International had fallen afoul of Russia's, quote, "foreign agent law," end quote. But the group said the real reason for the shutdown was that authorities did not approve of its work. The ruling is the latest blow to Russia's hollowed-out civil society organizations, which have gradually fallen victim to Putin's authoritarian regime. The prosecutor general allegedly requested MI's liquidation back in November for, quote, "consistently," end quote, breaching the law by failing to place a, quote, "foreign agent," end quote, warning on publications. The government designated Memorial International as a foreign agent in 2016 due to international funding of the group. The founding of Memorial in the late 1980s was a symbol of the USSR's opening up, facing up to its past and to Stalin's crimes. The shutting down of Memorial is a symbol, too, that in modern Russia the past is being rewritten, reshaped, and that civil society is coming under intense pressure. On Wednesday, one of the last pro-democracy media organizations in Hong Kong, Stand News, shut down after it was raided by police and senior staff were arrested. Stand News is also one of the last free news providers with close to 2 million followers. 200 officers were reportedly involved in the raids, where allegedly 7 people were arrested. Hong Kong police said in a statement that they were authorized to, quote, "search and seize relevant journalistic materials," end quote. Media said the 6 arrested were former Stand News board members, former Democratic legislator Margaret Ng, pop singer Denise Ho, Cho Ta-chi, and Christine Fang. Also arrested were former chief editor Chung Pui-ken and acting chief editor Patrick Lam. On Thursday, Biden and Putin held a call over stepped-up security demands in Eastern Europe. In Thursday's call, which was requested by the Russians, Biden was expected to stress to Putin that the US is united with its allies, but will demonstrate a willingness to engage in, quote, principled diplomacy, end quote, with Russia, according to a senior administration official who believed reporters of the upcoming call. The official spoke on the condition of anonymity. The two leaders held a video call earlier this month. Putin said earlier this week he would ponder a slew of options if the West fails to meet his push for security guarantees, precluding NATO's expansion to Ukraine. Earlier this month, Moscow submitted draft security documents demanding that NATO deny membership to Ukraine and other former Soviet countries and roll back its military deployment in Central and Eastern Europe. The US and its allies have refused to offer Russia the kind of guarantees in Ukraine that Putin wants, citing NATO's principle that membership is open to any qualifying country. They agreed, however, to hold talks with Russia next month to discuss its concerns. The US and Russia are to hold high-level talks on January 10th. Moscow and NATO representatives are expected to meet that same week, as well as Russia and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which includes the United States. Now on Friday, closing the week on a slighter high note, an overview of annual incidents relating to the killings of journalists was published in multiple media. A total of 45 journalists and media staffers, sadly, were killed while doing their job in 2021, according to a new report by the International Federation of Journalists. Now, why does it matter? The figure is a significant decrease from 2020, when 65 journalists were killed, and in fact is among the lowest death tolls the IFJ said it has ever recorded. The deaths allegedly were spread around the world. 20 journalists were killed in Asia and the Pacific, 10 in the Americas, 8 in Africa, 6 in Europe, and 1 in the Middle East and Arab world. 33 were murdered in targeted attacks, the group said. Afghanistan was the most dangerous country to be a journalist in 2021, with a reported 9 journalists or media staffers being killed. The deaths also included 8 journalists killed in Mexico, 4 in India, and 3 in Pakistan. Quote, these 45 colleagues we lost to violence this year remind us of the terrible sacrifice journalists across the world continue to pay for serving the public interest, and we remain in their debt, and thousands of others who paid the ultimate price, end quote, IFJ General Secretary Anthony Bellinger said in a press release. This has been your Global Security Flashpoint, the first one of 2022 and the first one of many to follow this year. See you all next week.